Case of Elizabeth Smart. Let's break down the Elizabeth Smart case based on the clues provided. Clue 1. Unreal suspect. Richard Ritchie, initially considered the prime suspect, was arrested 9 days after Elizabeth Smart's kidnapping, but later proven innocent after his death from an aneurysm while in jail. Clue 2. What happened? Elizabeth Smart was abducted from her home in the early hours of June 4, 2002, by an unknown assailant who threatened her with a knife and forced her to accompany him. Clue 3. Turning point. Mary Catherine Smart, Elizabeth's younger sister, provided crucial information that shifted the investigation's focus, leading to the realization that the initial suspect, Richard Ritchie, was innocent. Clue 4. Never giving up. Elizabeth Smart endured 9 months of captivity, during which she remained determined to survive and reunite with her family, ultimately seizing an opportunity to escape when approached by a police officer who recognized her. By piecing together these clues and following Elizabeth's harrowing journey, we can unravel the mystery of her abduction and celebrate her resilience in overcoming unimaginable adversity. Don't make a sound hereafter. So, we hope our audience detectives are ready. Get up and come with us. We are on the way to explore a nail-biting crime scene regarding the kidnapped and later founded Elizabeth Smart. Please welcome Richard Ritchie, the one and only suspect arrested by the police for the case of Elizabeth Smart. Richard was arrested 9 days after the kidnapping of Elizabeth Smart. After arresting him, the police decided to put Richard 2 months in jail. So, did the police find Elizabeth even in the 2 months that the suspect was kept in jail? No. It was just a mystery. Now here is somewhat unbelievable. You should hear about the story. The one and only suspect in this case died in jail after suffering from an aneurysm. After the death of this person, all hope of finding Elizabeth Smart alive was not an easy case. Mary Catherine Smart, the younger sister of Elizabeth Smart, came forward with some crucial information about this case. This crucial information provided by this small girl even changed the direction of this investigation to an unexpected side. She said that she could remember a voice she heard on the day Elizabeth Smart's tragic case happened. After, it proved that the main one and only suspect in this case, Richard Ritchie, was a very innocent guy, and he did not have any connection with Smart's kidnapping incident. So, what happened to Elizabeth Smart? Elizabeth Smart was found. But, soon after finding, she was not only sufficient to confirm exactly what happened to her. 5 months before they found Elizabeth, they confirmed that they were very shocked, never like before. Elizabeth also retained what happened to her that night as a secret for a long time. But finally the mystery was introduced to the public. It's a dark, quiet night, June 4th, 2002. The clock strikes 2 a.m. and Elizabeth is fast asleep. Suddenly, she jolts awake, her heart racing. It's like someone's holding a knife to her neck. That's how intense the feeling is. And then, she hears it. A chilling voice in the darkness. Don't make a sound, get up and come with me. Elizabeth freezes. Who could it be? What do they want? She's terrified, but her mind races. Is her family safe? Has this intruder harmed them already? But then, a glimmer of relief. She remembers her sister peacefully sleeping beside her. If this person had hurt anyone, surely her sister would have woken up. Elizabeth realizes this intruder, whoever they are, hasn't hurt anyone yet. The fear grips her, but she also has a determination to protect her family. What will she do next? Elizabeth soon realized that if she did not go this time with this man, he'd have done something to both Elizabeth and her younger sister. She suddenly woke up and started doing all that he's saying. He started taking Elizabeth out of her house and entered into the street through the backyard of her garden. All of a sudden, this man put his girl's head inside a bush. According to a recent view of Elizabeth, she said that she got her head a little upper after that. At that moment, she has seen some headlight shots going all over the road here and there. At the same time, she had also seen a police car coming slowly and slowly towards her, and it passed Elizabeth. After that, the kidnapper started pushing Elizabeth onto a steep trail going up to the mountain. The kidnapper did not forget to hold Elizabeth's hand together with the knife along the way. At this moment, according to her, she had to confront unimaginable reality. The kidnapper took the kidnapper further and further from her home by crossing mountains and streets. The kidnapper had already set up a tent by leveling up a side of the mountain. Out of the tinted area of this place, a woman kept walking along there. She had worn a long linen dress and also had a long headdress on her head. Suddenly this woman hugged her to Elizabeth and also said, "Don't you dare do anything I don't tell you to." After that, this woman had taken Elizabeth to the nearby tent and had asked to undress. Then that woman had left Elizabeth alone in the tent and left that place. The kidnapper had then entered the tent and had said something terrifying to Elizabeth. "It is that I hereby seal you to me as my wife." Elizabeth had screamed automatically after hearing this crucial thing from that kidnapper by saying no. Then the kidnapper had said, "If you ever screamed just like that hereafter, I will kill you without thinking of anything." Then he had also said, "In God's eyes we're married and it's time for us to consummate our marriage." This girl was heartbroken after hearing this from that kidnapper. One night after she slept and woke up early in the morning, this kidnapper kneeling over her. This time he had also taken a thick metal cable, wrapped it around her ankle, and bolted it into place so that she couldn't run away anywhere anytime she won't. At this moment, Elizabeth had thought about a single thing. That is, how long could I live? Would it be a year? Would it be a few weeks? Or would it be many years? Also, she had thought how unlucky she was to experience an unexpected dark situation like this. She had also thought of the closest things to her heart at that moment. Among those, her mom was at the top of the list. She had imagined the way her mom sounded, looked, and smelled in this situation. After that, she sat on the mountainside and thought, no matter what happens right now, it needs to happen at this time. Don't matter if all these things that happened to me are terrible as they were. After thinking like that, she realized something worth surviving for and started thinking about surviving. Until she was dead. She had also thought that she'd never let these two captors win, and she would escape from these two captors and reach her family. Doesn't matter how she did it. 9 months later, after she had been kidnapped, these two captors were walking up along the State Street in Salt Lake City. While these two captors were walking with Elizabeth, the police were around there in the street and came to question these three. The man who kidnapped her answered all the questions asked by the police and was never given a chance to Elizabeth to talk. But, according to Elizabeth, this is not the first time that the police have approached them. Now here you have reached the turning point of his thrilling story. At the same time, a police officer came near this little girl and realized that she was scared of these two. That is why she is answering like that. We need to separate the girl from them and question. Now is the most interesting part of this story. One police officer approached his girl along and said, "If you are Elizabeth Smart, your family misses you so much and they love you so much, and they have never given up hope on you. The entire 9 months you're gone. Don't you want to go back home to your family?" After hearing all of these hopeful sentences from that particular officer, she needed to escape from these two captors and run home immediately. She said all of this during a recent interview done by CNN News. After all, soon after the police get Elizabeth's safety, the police send an invitation to the family members of Elizabeth Smart saying, to come to the Sandy police station as soon as they can. On the very next day, the Desert News newspaper reported the headlines with big and bold letters highlighting that she's home. Later, she thought of sharing the experiences of the story with the other victims of abuse, hoping that even with all its terrible details, thinking that it would help them to recover from that situation and let them move on. Just like she has at the present. She stated all the experiences she got in this story by standing on some popular television programs, such as TEDx and TED Talks. Here is something important for everyone's life from Elizabeth Smart's story. It's not what happens to us that defines who we are. It's what we decide to do. It's our choices that define who we are. Don't give up. Don't surrender. Move forward because you never know what you'll be able to do with it. You'll never know the lives you'll be able to touch. What is your opinion about this heartfelt crime story? Don't forget to comment with your ideas below. Never mind if it is a positive comment or a negative one. Also, don't forget to subscribe and keep in touch every day as usual, because we meet you with new content daily. It's a promise.